Hello everyone. Well, here we are on September the 23rd, 2020, and I know that lots of people will have started doing vegetable gardening for the first time. And you get to this stage after a summer where with a bit of luck you've had some tomatoes and other things like that. And you get to this stage and you think, well, obviously I can't grow anything for the winter, so I'm going to have to leave it. In fact, that's not the case, because what you'll find here in the south of France is that some things grow better at this time of year than they would in the heat of the summer. For example, I gather coriander seeds each year, and I find that actually they work best if you sow them now, because they'll last pretty well during the winter. They don't seem to worry too much about frost, and they won't bolt. So you'll have coriander for all those delicious curries during the winter. So that's one thing you can do, and those can go straight into the ground. Also, other things that you can put in the ground right now are salads, lettuces like reine de glace. I think there's another one called something like Arctic King, I can't remember, but anyway, it's a lettuce that you can grow through the winter and doesn't seem to mind the cold too much, so that's quite useful. Also, you can sow rainbow chard now. And that will work perfectly well over the winter, or just develop. Something else that I really like is something called cima de rapa, which is very popular in Italy. And basically, I think you'd probably call it sprouting turnip tops. You don't eat the roots, you actually eat the tops. So it looks a little bit like broccoli, but it has a mustardy flavour as well. The whole bit of the plant is actually edible. And that's, you can say that now. Also, Barcelona cauliflower, you can sow at the moment. If I stop all of a sudden, it'll be because there's a wasp who's interested, and I'm allergic to wasps. Anyway, Barcelona cauliflower can be sown now. You can ideally sow it into little containers and then pot it on and plant it out when the plants are big enough. Alternatively, you could just try sowing it straight in the ground and then thinning it out so that each plant is about that far apart. Also, queue de boeuf, this sort of pointy cabbage can be sown now, so that's quite good. And you can just put it straight into the soil, but you will have to thin them out. So you can, when the plants start to grow, take out the intermediate ones and use those just in, well, probably even in salads at that stage. But you can use them when they're just tiny, and then let the larger plants grow on. And then the real big crop of the winter is either field beans, and I've got some here that are called Wizard, which are a bit like a broad bean, but have slightly smaller pods, but they're very, very productive. Alternatively, a broad bean for the winter is agua dulce, and those can be sown any time from now, pretty much right up till Christmas, as long as you can get them in the soil, I'd say. And they'll give you a very, very early crop of broad beans. And unlike spring sown broad beans, which suffer terribly from black fly, these don't. So you'll have an early crop and also fewer pests. So those are a few things that you can be getting on with, and you may as well fill your soil. For example, if you've got things like broad beans going in, these are nitrogen fixers, so they're actually going to improve the soil that you have. Really, if you've started with no dig, all you need to do is add a little bit of compost, probably just about that much, to the surface of your soil, plant straight into it, and leave the worms and all the microorganisms and fungi to do their work for you. Don't dig it. You don't have to add any more cardboard or anything like that. Just make sure these young seedlings have adequate water if we have a dry spell. And there you have it. Good luck.